Copper shizzle.
All right, Cham, thanks for passing through Sleek. We're very honored to have you here. So you're a legend in the music industry, the dancehall reggae music industry. You're one of the earliest Jamaican artists to cross over into the international scene with your hit song "Get a Story." How does it feel to know that so many years later, it's still such a big song?
First, thanks for having me here. It's a great feeling, you know what I mean? You do music to uplift people, to give people enjoyment and to put smile on people's face, you know what I mean? And also to take care of your family, you know what I mean? And at the same time, just represent the colors, which is the black, green, and gold. And when you can do something like that, a song like Get a Story or even Boom Boom with Rihanna or whosoever out there, that when Tears Turn with Foxy Brown, that's still up to the day is one of the highest selling songs, you know what I mean? That means you're opening the door, you're keeping the door open for the next generations to come in and do what they need to do, you know what I mean? And it's always a pleasure, believe me.
Mm-hmm. So how important do you think it is to keep that door open for the next generation of
Yo,
artists?
it's very important. It's very important to keep that door open. Before us was the Buju Bantans, you know what I mean? Bob Marley basically plow down the door and say, come in. All of us should get in, you know what I mean? So you find that when Shabba them was doing their thing, they weren't just doing their thing for themselves. You know what I mean? When Buju was doing his thing, wasn't just doing his thing for himself, need a killer, need a beanie man. So when we came to the forefront, it was important for us to get that baton and keep pushing and keep just keeping the flag high and keeping the door open. So the likes of all of the newer generations, all of the youth are inspired now to do music, can have an opportunity to get out there, you know what I mean, for a record label to even look at our track record and say, okay, they did this and they sold this amount. Hopefully we can get these newer generations to start selling those type of numbers, you know what I mean?
So you mentioned all of these great performers, their names, and mentioned their legacies. You're definitely, well, I would say that you're grouped into those levels of performers and whatever.
Thank you.
Yeah. So coming from those days when performing is how you really got your music out there, and now it's more streaming and whatever. We can definitely look back and say Cham is like one of the better performers, one of the greater performers. How did you build that? How did you build yourself to become someone like that?
Performance-wise, I think that came easy for me. We used to watch a whole heap of those stage show cassettes from day one. You know what I mean? Whenever we get a time, the chance to really watch it. But I was always the type of person, even at Calabar, when them farm crowd and we have classroom clash, we'd stand on the decks and that's my comfort zone. When the lights off, though, if you follow my career over the years, you only see me when I need to be seen. You only hear me when I need to be heard. So my natural personality is more reserved, naturally. But when it's time or the lights are on, then Cham comes out, you know what I mean? So I was always that type of person that used to perform for my mom, my sisters, my brothers, just take the broomstick or the mop stick and just perform. And naturally, we are just natural dancers and natural just lovers of music and lovers of entertainment, you know what I mean? But you also have to study the craft. So you study all of the greats before you, like Shabba Ranks and the Buju Bantans and Bob Marley, Michael Jackson, not just our genre, but you study people who you know are real entertainers, and then you kind of put all these flavors together to make your own flavor, you know what I mean? You take a little bit from a Beanie, a little bit from a Bounty, a little bit from a Shabba, a Yellowman, a Michael Jackson, a Bob Marley, and you kind of make your stew, you know what I mean? But first, you have to be humble enough to think you really need to work on that craft, you know what I mean? And some of us are not that humble, and that's why we always get the other end of the stick when it comes to live shows.
So on the topic of influences, we know that Bounty Killer played a big role in bringing up your career from the start. So talk to us about that and your kind of friendship and partnership over the years.
Yeah, Rodney, I'm a brother. Bounty Killer is like a brother. You know what I mean? So, for instance, he wasn't the one that basically break Baby Cham or put me on the map. You know what I mean? He was the one that guided me. So I was lucky enough to come up around the greatest producer, I think, in the dancehall history, which is Dave Kelly. You know what I mean? And Dave track record speak. Like, no other producers break so many major artists. You're talking about Buju Banton, Terra Fabulous, Baby Shab, you know what I mean? Garnet Silk, Tony Rebel, Nadine Sutherland. Just we can go on and on what he did with Killer Career, what he did with Beanie Career. So we could go on and on. So I was there, but I wasn't doing any songs with my name in it. I wouldn't call my name in songs, and I wasn't doing music videos. So all these big classics that I was putting out didn't have any form of visual. So no one knew what I looked like. No. And then I'm growing up. I'm coming up in the business around a producer that doesn't take photos, doesn't do videos. So I'm taking on to that personality. You know what I mean? So I went to this awards by the name, I think it was Binz Awards. And they awarded, I can't remember who they awarded the award at the time, but to me it was unfair, you know what I mean? Because I knew what my songs were doing. And we had the biggest songs, the number one songs at the time, but they gave someone else the new artist of the year. And I couldn't get it, I couldn't understand it until a PR person told me that we don't have any form of PR in Jamaica, you know what I mean? That's Madhouse Records. Didn't use PR. We just basically use music to promote that, the quality of the music, you know what I mean, to get it out there. Because I think Dave Kelly motto, it's all about the music and the work that needs to be done. It's not about egos or individuals, but at the same time, people needs to know who is Cham. So I think it was 1997 that I first called my name in a song. It was Showtime. Showtime! We present on stage out of Sherlock Crescent, signed by the Mad People Gang, Baby Cham, and from there, everything started growing.
I want to talk back on Dave Kelly and his producing and whatever. So coming from those days and those producers to now, the songs now, and Madhouse Screw, what do you think are the differences between the types of music production and how it affects our Jamaican music industry?
I think the biggest difference is quality control. Quality control is the biggest difference. So majority of these youths know that doing music, they just, whatever comes to mind, they can just record it and release it. Meanwhile, we would record songs that Dave Kelly would tell us is not good enough. You know what I mean? Like Dave, which producer we know now would have Beenie Man, Bounty Killer, and Baby Cham on one song. And no one in the world have ever heard it. You know what I mean? We, the artists, were cursing that, yo, you need to release this now. And it's like, nope, it's not good enough. I don't think it's at the standard that's out there with you guys. And he believes in an artist is as good as his last record or his last album. And if the song is not up to that standard, no matter how big your name is, it's not coming out. And I think that's where we falter now, where we don't really stress as much on quality more than quantity. Now it's more quantity over quality.
Speaking of, back in the day, we had a lot of juggling, on music.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Dancehall style.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
But now we're not really seeing that culture as prominent today. Do you think that's something that we need to definitely get back into?
No, that's a culture, and the producers need to get back to that, and the artists. You know what I mean? But remember, when you have a juggling, each individual have to play their part. If you can recall Showtime juggling, every song, 12 songs were hit songs. Broke out every song, hit classic records. I mean, it's a competitive atmosphere in the studio. So you hear Shaman say, for instance, Spraga come to the studio, and him hear Cham do, who no know say Baby Cham up off tell you know how which girl and which girl, and finish that, and the whole studio mash up. Killer going at the studio now. Well, I can't believe how, you know what I mean? Him have to go in at the studio now go deliver. You have to deliver. If you don't deliver, your peers. There's no better love than when your peers them come to you and tell you, say, yo, you're murdered, you know what I mean? And I think that's the difference now, is that every man does do their own little thing, you know what I mean? Every band does do their own little thing, and that's it. And I think the producers now too, they would take anything. But then you can't just get anything. Dave Kelly would send one Bounty Killer and tell him if it's not right, work on it and come back tomorrow. How much producer now can tell Bounty Killer to go home and come back? You're mad. the artists have to have that respect for the producer. But you have to have also that track record that they know that, okay, whatever he's saying he must be knowing what he's saying, because this is a person that his track record alone speak for itself.
Right.
You know what I mean? So hopefully they can kind of get to that level of quality control. You know what I mean? Where producers aren't scared to say, yo, I don't think this is it. We think we need to go back to the drawing board. You know what I mean? And it boils back down to, once you go in the studio, it's not supposed to be about IP, because our individual. You know what I mean? As a creative juices flow, you stick to the philosophy of using the studio to have fun. If you leave that outside, then you'll get classics. You know what I mean? Just leave the ego outside for a bit and just go and work.
Do you think that's what's missing in our today's dancehall culture, like the camaraderie between artists and the less competition and the more like, all right, we're all here for the same thing, and the respect for the producers?
Yeah, because the competition is good enough. You never get it twisted. Like if you listen to another level, we were actually competing, myself and Bounty Killer, in the studio. We were facing off. That's how Dave set us up in the studio today to record that song, another level. So he was here, I'm here, like we were battling each other. But that's where the competition stops. When you get out of the studio, like, yo, you go, did I see? You know what I mean? But a natural love. It's a natural love. We know all the way a push for the same goal. You know what I mean? And I think that's missing. So hopefully, like the newer generation, them can start link. Because when you watch shows from back then, you see 15 artists on stage one time, and the Midas a swing is a different level. Like when we used to the Spectrum, and a normal thing.
So we're talking, you mentioned another level. That's just a drop in the bucket of all the hits that you accumulated over the years.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about your writing process. Like, what's that like?
Ooh, it depends. Yeah, we are like mirrors of society. That's what the artist is. Whatever society reflects, we tend to reflect it back with music, melodies, and words. Everyone, if you're going to Calabar High School, and I've noticed that, if you go Calabar and you are into writing, there's something about Calabar. Just look at all
It's
the
nurtured.
artists. Yeah, the literature program and English programs kind of on the next level. If you look at all the artists from Calabar, myself, Cartel, it's like we're good with words, we are good in summarizing, like just what happened yesterday. You know what I mean? You know, when we used to go to school and they used to say, okay, you need to write a composition and whatever you did for the summer. I was good at that from day one. So I think that kind of helped me over the years, you know what I mean? So Mama Jenny work and our money paid off. Yeah.
Do you find that writing is something like a dying talent in the industry today?
I wouldn't say it's a dying talent, you know. I wouldn't say it's a dying talent. I think sometimes the beats that they are making, they can't really tell stories on the beat. Sometimes it's a little bit fast. I know when the beats are too fast, you can't really tell a story. It's about a vibe. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't say it's a dying talent, because you have so much talents out there that's still not getting a chance to really showcase their talent right now. So if you notice now, it's like any little thing can get a hype or go to number one. You know what I mean? And in life, everything is a cycle. So hopefully those writers don't get deterred or just break down their spirit. You know what I mean? I hope they keep on just grinding, because everything is a cycle. So that will come back around just the same.
So talking about your hits, if you had to choose 3 that you were most proud of, that really left an impact that you'll forever remember, what would you choose? Which would you choose?
Well, we have so many hits, and every record that I've done is like, I don't know for anyone else, but I know for me, they're like your children. So you don't put one above the other, you know what I mean? you try to just give all of them as much as you can give them, so they can go and flourish and express their prowess out in the world. And that's what we do in music. As far as we have some that kind of have a little more significant, little more soft spot, you know what I mean, naturally. Like Joyride, for me, Joyride was released 1996. But just graduated from Calabar the year before at age 15, so I was 16 at that time. And the reason why it's one of my favorite, nothing was written with pen and paper, nothing at all. Everything was just straight from the dome. We in Wonder, I remember Dave Kelly come pick me up, the short story. Dave Kelly came and picked me up for this, a beach party. At that time, it's my first time I was going to a beach party. So knowing where me come from, I come from Sherlock Crescent. So if you tell me, say, you come pick you up for go somewhere, I'm going to put on my Sunday best, yeah? So remember this, Dave Kelly and Wayne Wonder, these people are legends. They never come pick me up in the community now. And Dave have a Red Amigo at the time. him girlfriend in the car, Denise at the time, who is now his wife, and him pull up at the gate, and they were all in, like now, like how I'm dressed, shorts, sandals, you know what I mean, t-shirt, and we're like, what? Me have on brown pants, brown belly, you know what I mean, white mesh marina, brown plaid shirt, speng up one button, fly, cuff. And I say, you a beach we are going. I mean, I say, but this is how we go beach if we are go beach, because you spend up and you have to clean, you know what I mean? Anyway, Dave, we drive off and Dave start playing this rhythm himself. At the time, he never have the name. It's just a new beat. He must say, anything come to your mind, me I go tape, me I just press record on my dictaphone. Anything come to your mind, we want to sing, and I'm supposed to just DJ. I remember I said, this is Dave Kelly. So you still a try impress. You know what I mean? So we want to start sing, taking a ride, a ride, a ride, a ride, a joy ride. Me and some days. I remember we were going to the beach, so the singer just I soak up the atmosphere. We are go through the country roads, you know what I mean? And me I say, well, I'm cruising around with a jeep full of honeys. You don't want to introduce me to the mommies. So I want me back up and come over with my luggage. And Dave keep on doing finger like this. I keep going, keep going. So you can't make any mistake. You can't stop. You have to just come straight from the dome, you know what I mean? But if you listen it, you know that that was all freestyle, because each one want to introduce me. Introduce me is not a word. No, but it worked. It worked and it worked well. And now to the day, it's a classic. You know what I mean? So big up to Dave and big up to Wayne Wonder. They kind of push that envelope where Dave is the type of individual where if I got to him, like I was traveling once and this dude came to me and said, Man and Man is his favorite track. He's like this white brother. Man and Man, that's my favorite track. We just finished at 97 Summer Jam. I can't forget. This was 2000. But he was saying that he didn't understand nothing that Man and Man was saying. I mean, I said, Man and Man are your favorite track, and you don't understand. They're supposed to really know Man and Man say. You know what I mean? So I came back on the island at the time, and I tell Dave, so I need to start with some different things where people can understand me. And I said, like, what? I said, well, I have an idea. I don't know how you have a feel, because it's kind of different. I say, hands off my property. This is not monopoly. Only my girl and she alone can be on top of me. And I say, yo, that different, because I remember at the time, you have me and them no grounds, man. Hear me no Babylon, So everything hardcore and aggressive, and you go come with, you see me rolling in my Benz, making mad money with my friends. You know what I mean? Different type of flow. But him never shun it, and that's why I have to respect him. Him kind of say, okay, well, if that's the way you want to go, I have to target the beat them, so it still have the dancehall essence, it still have the dancehall groove, and I could just do what we are doing. Him never shun anything at all, and that's why I have to rate David. Just allow me to express my prowess. And I think that's what majority of the artists them now lack. Them now have like that type of guidance, you know what I mean? That type of producer that can guide you in that way. You know what I mean? We have talent, but then an artist is as good as the producer you give him to work with. It's the reason why Snoop Dogg so big, because of Dr. Dre. You can't go around it. Eminem so big because of Dr. Dre. You know what I mean? Dr. Dre is so big because of the Snoop Dogs. He's so big because of the Eminem. So it goes hand in hand, you know what I mean? So just picture if all these talents could really get real talented producers to work with that they trust. And that's going to guide them in the right direction. And I think that's one of my favorite tracks, right? Yeah.
All right, cool. So we're obviously coming out of a really tough time with lockdown and the pandemic. How were you as an artist, as a musician, doing during that period?
Almost 2 years, you know. We under lockdown, no party, we can't go. Well, lockdown, the whole pandemic. None of us kind of expected anything like this. You know what I mean? We were in Asia at the time on tour, and it was my birthday. It was my birthday month, February, and we had asked the management if they could set up something, and the band members could spend 1 week in Koh Samui. Koh Samui is an island off the coast of Bangkok, and we were there enjoying, and we got the call that the world was going to shut down, and we had to go home. You know what I mean? And we went in. I can say though, the pandemic have its good and its bad. You know what I mean? A lot of us, it made a lot of us pivot. Like it made me focus more on the clothing line. The lawless branding, the clothing line, make sure everything is on point, because that's a whole entity by itself. And you kind of live in it, doing photo shoots. Before, we never did any professional photo shoot. We never really sit down and really kind of channel our energy in that direction. So I think it kind of make you have a pivot and you kind of learn how to live within your space. And for me, it made me appreciate just the kids them even more.
Right.
Because you used to being on the road with a whole team, the band members, booking agent, road manager, you know what I mean, the camera people, them, the ray, and now you look around you and it's just you and your family, you know what I mean? And now you have to try get that vibe back, get that energy, go in the backyard more, go in the pool, you know what I mean? At one point, I buy disc jockey equipment. So I started, I'd like have a club in the backyard and I started play like old school records for the kids them so them could have understand where it come from, 80s, 90s, Super Cat, you know what I mean? John Wayne, you name it, Tennessee, you know what I mean? So it kind of bring you back to the basis, to the basic, and kind of let you put things in perspective, where you appreciate just the small things. Like even now, I don't leave without tell them some I love them. Like my youth them, my son them older now, you know what I mean? And them I like when you hug them, and them I like when you kiss them. And me I say, you could have deal. Me I kiss them before believe same way, because you never know, yo. You never know. Yeah, none of us knew that we would land in Jamaica and everybody are wear masks. Me used to that in Asia. Like, we go to Asia for years and I see these things. But me land and everybody are wear masks. Me never know some could have there Jamaica and like them and tell me we have to go home. You have half the road. Like, me land Sunday. And me get like 15 texts like 10 o'clock. My mother tell me, Dean, remember you have to get off the road by 11. 15, back to back. Dean, remember that the curfew? And me, I said, what is? You know what I mean? But me understand, me get it. But it's just one of them things where that kind of show you say, you can't take nothing for granted. You know what I mean? And you have to make the people who you love, know you love them no matter if it's not your blood. Make them know you check for them. Like through the pandemic, me and Killer Link straight. He's a man who just out of the blues, he would just call me. Brother, I miss you, you know. Benno, you can't come to Jamaica, I'm not no visa and rare. I said, I know Rodney grew up, is that the Rodney this we do? But pandemic make you put things into perspectives, you know what I mean? And make you realize you have to let the people around you who you really check for, who you love, know you love them as much as you can, because you never know. Everything does change like this in the space of like 2-3 months. Boom. And we never ever want to see about this. That's why I need the people them to make sure so them sanitize up, take care of brothers and sisters, take care of the elders them. We know we need this lockdown to be over with, but we have to approach it with caution. You know what I mean? We have to approach it and go through the right protocols and do the right things. We need to get them vaccine, get vaccinated, and we need to get this behind us now, yo. Because there's no way we can go out there and do what we want to do, work how we want to work with what's going on. You know what I mean? We're getting by. But we can't get back to normalcy without we getting past this the right way.
These feelings you talk about a lot on lockdown of the Clockwork Rhythm. So talk to us about the making of that song and how it came to be.
Yo, the making of lockdown, I wanted to address the Prime Minister big time, because to me it was hypocrisy. You know what I mean? To really hit out so much against dancehall when dancehall did so much for him. Right. You know what I mean? And I really wanted to address it, but I didn't want it to look like I was piggybacking on the whole situation. You know what I mean? So when you see NGA reached out and they were saying, yo, we have a dancehall beat and we kind of try to push dancehall, I knew that I wanted to give them that. But I wanted to make sure it was special, you know what I mean? Make sure it was right. And I sat with Dave Kelly, UC and NGA. I would tell them, give me at least 2 weeks. Give me 2 weeks and let me get it right. Because you talk about somebody that, I don't know, if Jamaica realize who Usain Bolt really is. You know what I mean? Because sometimes they walk past him in the party and him hanging out. But you have to realize that this is the man that gave us joy for how much years. When it's Olympic time, we don't worry. It's like where I say, yo, our flag I got up at the top, no matter what. You know what I mean? So if this person reach out to you, he might give us so much strength for years and say, yo, me need your strength now. You have to give him something where I'm a champion for the people. Something where I go really make him label, make a stamp for itself within the streets, you know what I mean? Internationally, everywhere. And just from what's going on even right now, BT just put it in rotation. MTV had the video in rotation also. Revolt, Spotify just flying a team all week. They've been here shooting him just because of this one song. I can say, yes, brother, me give him strength. You know what I mean? Like, at least we do my little part for your label, and the label will flourish, you know what I mean? So lockdown, I really wanted to just address the whole thing and just speak up for the people who don't have a voice. Because we are not saying the country should just free up. without any form of protocols. But you have to remember that it's not everyone you can just tell, go home and you can't come out for 2 months. Because GPS bill don't stop come. The water rate never stop come. It comes every 3 weeks. You know what I mean? The rent have to pay. And they did this without even thinking about the whole ecosystem of the dancehall. So yes, the artists them can afford to be at home. You know what I mean? But what about the flyer girl? What about the jerk chicken man? What about the soup man? What about the man who sell peanut? What about the lady that sell the Wrigley's and the weed? What about the female that sells the lollipop? You know what I mean? The flyer girls, the promotional girls that come out to dance in the party. All of these people is a whole ecosystem, you know. And it starts from the top down. It's one big ecosystem. And I think the government kind of overlooked that when they kind of just put that big lockdown on the whole country and the whole entertainment business. The promoters that are real promoters that are here, they have to be flying out and going overseas just to feed them family. But we have reasoning with the government, and we want to tell the Prime Minister, when you mess up, we tell you mess up. I'm glad now he might try to do what is right. So hopefully they can keep on the right path, and if they're not on the right path, we'll adjust them again. Yeah.
So these opinions, you've also been vocal on your social media as well.
Yes.
Do you think that it's important for entertainers, dancehall artists to use their platforms to speak on topics that they believe in?
You have to. You have to speak on topics you believe in. Basically, the people put you here for a purpose. You know what I mean? So when we release all of those nice, fun songs, and these people are the ones that championed for us and cheered for us and push us to the point where international markets start recognizing us. Now we start touring overseas, the rest of the world knows, but it started right here. You know what I mean? It started from when fire burn for the man them out that when no stop run pedophile joke. Girl from your band, they were cheering. How many girl get slammed through money? Many, they were cheering from then. So now they make you this icon of the music. You have to speak for them when you see that they are being oppressed, you know what I mean? And they don't have that voice. You have to be that voice for them. And hopefully I've done my part.
So lockdown, you know, your fans are already saying, like, when's the next project?
Yeah.
Is there anything that you can tell us? Like, do you have anything coming up that you're excited to announce?
Wow, we have so many things that we're working on. But if you know me, when lockdown is out, I'm going to give it everything. So it can directly do what we want it to do. It's already doing a lot by just even we're gracing the MTV space again and the BT spaces again, you know what I mean? Spotify, I've never flew in a team to come and do anything here. It's the first time they're coming here to do one. Other dancehall artists benefit from it just in the 1 week. So it's not just myself and Hussein, you know what I mean? Our the whole A-team production that benefited from it. And these are things that when you're doing good out there, it helped the whole Jamaica, it helped the whole reggae industry, it helped the whole dancehall industry. So we're working lockdown non-stop because we know it have that thing that it can fly, and you have to give it everything that it can give it. We have other stuff working on, but for now, we focus on lockdown. Yeah.
All right. So coming off of, well, not just the song lockdown, but the actual lockdown, and we're seeing where the entertainment industry is starting to open up and whatever. Large-scale music shows are something that were kind of dying down before, and we see where it's something that is, well, we're trying to bring up now. Where do you see the future of that going?
No, well, music and entertainment and the world will never die. So you find that ever since the world has been taking its time and open up, every concert has been sold out.
Right.
Every concert. It started out where my first concert, they had you couldn't just buy a ticket and come in. You had to buy a ticket for like 5 of y'all or 6, and they would barricade your space off. And that's just you and your team would be there enjoying until each one of the venues are starting to find creative ways to get it out. But you can see it, even when you do your last song or you do your encore, 3 more songs and come off, they're still saying, 2 more. So people just want to come out, and that's what music does. After a hard week or a hard day, you kind of need that, you know what I mean? You have people that doesn't need that, and they can channel whatever stress they're going through in other places, but you have people that need some form of live event to just go watch them favorite artists, listen some music, have a drink, and that kind of level them off back until they have to get back in that stressful environment.
Mm-hmm. Do you see events even such as Sting coming back?
Yo, Sting is a dancehall staple.
Mm-hmm.
Sting should be back. You know what I mean? The Sting is a staple. From we were kids, we've been buying Sting cassettes. We used to get the Sting cassettes and iBias cassettes, and we used to study every line from the Ninjas, the Bounties, you name it, the Bujas. You know what I mean? So Sting, all of these events, Jamaica need to understand what we have. So if you notice, we are having less and less live concerts, while the rest of the world is having more and more dancehall and reggae concerts. So what that tells you, we're giving away what we started and letting them capitalize on it. Even, for instance, there's a festival out in the world called the Bumbuckland Festival. But yet we cannot say Bumbuckland, you know what I mean? And this festival is pulling in 30,000, 40,000 people every year. A year with name, the Bumbuckland Festival. So sometimes we don't realize what we have. You know what I mean? Sometimes we are our own destruction then, as I would say. Yeah, but we need to free up, and we need to make sure that we cherish all these live concerts that we normally keep over the years, and promoters and even the tourist industry need to really start, and the government and a whole need to really start take the industry a little bit more serious. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, what brings the most people to Jamaica, no matter what, is the music. You know what I mean? Bob Marley needs to get him day. Bob Marley still don't have a day in Jamaica. Can you imagine that? Bob Marley don't have a day. Every tourist in the world, when you ask them first, Irie man, where them get that from? Where them get that from? Weed, where them get that from? Everything where you see Bob them time, with every photo, him have a spliff. You know what I mean? Yeah man, we're Irie. Rastafari. You see me? So if you pre it, I think the government and a whole need to realize what they have. You know what I mean? This is our culture, this is our business. And it's not just a party shop. Mm-hmm. And I think they know that from the taxes that most of the artists they have to pay, but they just treat it like it's a party shop. But it's full time they start treating it like it's a Fortune 500 company.
Mm-hmm. It's funny that you talk about the foreigners appreciating our culture so excitedly, because a lot of people would argue that it's appropriation, you know, where samples are being used of our hottest songs in international songs, and people are saying, you know, that shouldn't happen. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I don't believe that should happen. As long as they go through the right gates and the right doors, and they don't try to rob the youths of their publishing and their rights. Yo, music is music. Music has no boundaries, has no borders, has no walls. When they sample our stuff and use it, it's more promotion for us. You know what I mean? It's more promotion for our genre. And it shows you that we are a force to be reckoned with out in the world. So they can copy all they want to copy as long as the copy is right.
You know, even in big competitions like the Grammys, where we see international artists getting the recognition over our local artists, you know, you've been nominated for Grammys. How does that feel as an artist to see, you know, a reggae artist out of maybe Germany, you know, getting the recognition over a local person?
Yeah, it hurts to know that they give our other artists from other country, or their team can come together and work better than us. You know what I mean? And this come from people working together. If we were united as an industry, dancehall and reggae industry, that couldn't go on. None at all. You know what I mean? But we are not united as an industry. You don't have to be friends, you know, to be united. We don't have to have dinner every day or come by your house and hang out, but we're supposed to support the one cause, the same purpose, which is making sure that no one at all ever be able to manipulate or use our culture or get more from our culture more than us. You know what I mean? But we have to be united and stop fighting for the one. Everybody wants to be the one. You know what I mean? Why not 100? We need to have 100 of us on the Billboard chart at once. When you have just one and this one person trying to push this one down to get there because it's just him, when you fall off, then we have to start from the top again to get back into the mainstreams, you know what I mean? But for sure those things hurt. Even when I was nominated, they gave it to Lee Scratch Perry, and if it wasn't for Lee Scratch Perry and what he did with Bob Marley, he wasn't selling as much as Get a Story. But what he did with Bob Marley gave them that. But in all of these things, you kind of live and learn. If it's now, they couldn't beat me. Because now we understand the game and we know all the plugs that they need to plug, you know what I mean? But so it will come back around. And I'm ready now, you know what I mean?
All right, sound like you have something cooking up though.
It's all right.
All right. So on a lighter note, these are just some fire questions. What are 3 things that you can't leave the house without?
Wow. I'd say my phone. I've recent my lawless hat. And my watch.
So you go on tour all over the world. What is the one Jamaican meal that you always find yourself missing?
Okay, and salvage with rice and peas. Not dumpling, rice and peas.
Why rice and peas?
It's just a flavor. It gives a flavor. All right. So for instance, we used to run both in that as a youth. And we used to have a friend who used to cook good rice and peas. So we used to do ackee and saltfish with the rice and peas. And we had to sun them on the rice and peas with the ackee and saltfish. Mwah. Yeah.
What's your favorite place to visit in Kingston?
Sherlock Crescent. Yeah.
Hometown.
When I'm here, it's a good vibe when you go there and you kind of soak up at the whole energy. You see the park and just the whole vibe. You kind of see the kids them run past here. Remember those days, you know what I mean? You look on the wall and you see them have a big mural of you. And that mural is like a hope for kids around there, knowing that no matter what, they can get out and they can do their thing also and become someone, you know what I mean? Because it's a rough neighborhood, bro. Believe me. It's very hard. It's not a lot of kids that really make it out, you know what I mean? We weren't supposed to be 25, or I live to see 25. So when I'm there, it's touching sometimes.
All right. So, Cham is for the ladies.
Yeah.
Whenever we post it to our page, we get like mad comments and likes from ladies just liking how you look.
My babies. Yes.
So, and you have, a catalog of ladies' songs that everybody loves. Is there any more coming that we can expect?
For sure. For sure. We have a fire coming for the ladies, for my babies. No, if no buts, no maybes. I won't give you nothing more. But just know that the fire is coming, and it's coming soon.
All right. Cool. So what kind of themes can we expect out of that new project that you're coming with?
A mixed feeling. Everyone will have their feeling. A lot of fun stuff, because a lot of people ask you, during the pandemic, you get a lot of time. You're supposed to be able to write a lot. But everything that was coming was surrounded by the pandemic and surrounded by grey. You know what I mean? Every time you look on the news, at one point I had to lock off the news. I didn't watch news for like 4 months. No news, you know what I mean? Because everything, and it's sad to know that you get time to write and you can't write because everything kind of surrounded that type of life. So with this project that we're working on, you're going to get something for everyone. But a lot of fun stuff too, because we just want to enjoy. It's almost 2 years, we're under lockdown. No party, we can't go.
Once something is hot, cool, and trendy, we say it's certified sleek. So what would make Cham certified sleek?
I would say I'm certified sleek because of just for being a sharpshooter. Yeah. I've never released 4 songs for a calendar year. And that's unheard of in dancehall. So for you to release 1 or 2 songs for the year, but yet still your catalog stands at all, I'm a certified sharpshooter. So I'm certified sleek. Can you hear me? Good.
All right. Thanks so much for this interview. It was really good speaking to you.
Thanks for being here. Big up the whole sleek team. I'm good. Almost 2 years, we under lockdown. No party, we can't go. Police a crackdown. Government a say a curfew. Now back down. Any man get catch a road a get pat. 100 seat, enough dead. Me no get it. Election keep. How them say a pandemic. Me no trust the numbers. Me feel them a edit. So them can claim say a dancehall a spread it. Old people have to stay home because them at risk. 6 feet apart, them a say, but sleek, watch this. Me no say when none of them a do for try stop this. When them want we do, stay home and just knock fist. Can't even get for drive out. Me new vroom vroom. YouTube me dep on the video, listen boom boom. Enough man des woulda need a come. Longest me ever go without no zoom. I don't give a sleep, don't give a. Can you hear me? Yo, this is Baby Cham and you're locked in. Sleek. Banging.